I'm going to work through these problems in this Math 137 test number 4 review. I'm going to work these problems fairly quickly. The purpose of these videos is not necessarily to teach the material again, but just to work through these problems in case you want to see how they're worked. I do have the answer key, so as I work these, I would check my answers. Hopefully I won't make any mistakes, but if I do, I'll try and go back and correct them. So the first 9 problems look like law of sine and cosine problems, so let's go ahead and jump in and see what we have. So problem 1, looks like angle A is 50 degrees. Angle C is 30 degrees. Side A is 10. So this looks like an angle side, which is a pretty easy problem to solve. So I need to know angle B. I need to know side B. And I need to know side C. First thing I'll do, I can determine angle B. Since I know angle A and angle C, the 3 angles of a triangle have to equal 180. So angle B is going to be 180 minus angle A, which is 50 degrees, minus angle C, which is 30 degrees. Looks like angle B, 100 degrees. Now I need to find sides B and C, so now I can use law of sines. Maybe we'll just do sine A over side A equals sine angle B over side B. So the sine of 50 degrees over 10 equals the sine of 100 degrees over B. So if you rearrange things a little bit, you should have 10 times the sine of 100 degrees over the sine of 50 degrees. I think it says to round the answer to the nearest tenth. So, grab my calculator. I'm going to make sure it's in the degree mode. 100 sine divided by 50 sine equals times 10 equals 12.855, so 12.9. So side B equals 12.9. Then for side C, use the law of sines again. Sine 50 degrees over 10 equals sine angle C is 30 degrees over C. So C equals 10 times sine of 30 degrees over the sine of 50 degrees. $30 sine divided by 50 sine times 10, 6.5. And when I look at the key, I believe those are the correct answers. Number 2, angle A, 27 degrees. Side A is 34. Side C equals 75. Angle side, and it's what I call matching. So I'm using law of sines. So what I need to figure out, angle B, angle C, and side C. So I'm going to go figure out angle C by using the law of sines. So the sine of A over A equals the sine of C over C. Sine of 27 degrees over 34 equals the sine of C over 75. So the sine of C equals 75 over 34 times the sine 27 degrees. 27, the sine times 75 divided by 34, 1.0014. So therefore, C equals the inverse sine of 1.0014. So here's the inverse sine. Error. So this is where on a test you go back and check your math, make sure you didn't make any mistakes, make sure you didn't miscopy the problem. And we do all that stuff, you find out that you didn't make any mistakes, that the error, so that means there is no triangle. And that can happen sometimes when the ASS information they give you does not allow you to create a triangle. Number 3, B is 30 degrees, A is 10, C is 12. So this is angle side, non-matching. So I have to use law of cosines. So I'm using law of cosines that involves the angle B. So it's B squared equals A squared plus C squared minus 2AC times the cosine of B. Now, I better check that just to be sure, although I'm pretty sure that's correct, but let me check real quick. Oh, I wrote it wrong. I had the idea. Whoops. Sorry. So it's 2AC times cosine B. So I know everything in here, but small b, so I can plug in. So A is 10, C is 12. So I can plug in everything. Be careful now here with the math, because you have to go ahead and multiply all these things together, and then you can subtract them. So this is going to be 100 minus 144 minus then 30 cosine times 120 times 2, something like 207.846. $144. Wow, I can make mistakes. It should be plus. So 244 minus 207.846, 36.154. So the square root of that will be B, which is 6.01. And I'm checking. Oh, my key. Where's my key? Sorry. Yep, 6.0. So that's B. Now that I know B, let's figure out A. So A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC times cosine of A. So now I know A is 10 squared, B is 6 squared, C is 12 squared minus 2 times 6 times 12 times cosine of A. You gotta be careful with the math here. A lot of students mess up. So you got 100. I'll combine these two together. It's 36 plus 144. Pretty sure it's 180. Now this is 2 times 6, which is 12. This is minus 144 times cosine of A. Well, a lot of students want to do is they want to take 180 minus 144, but you cannot do that. Instead, you subtract 80 from both sides. So you have cosine of A equals 80 over 144, which equals 0.556. So A equals the inverse cosine 0.556. So it's like 56.2 degrees. So therefore, since I know angle A and I know angle B, I can find angle C pretty easily. 180 degrees minus 56.2 degrees minus 30 degrees. I need 3.7 degrees. All right, continuing on with number 4. A equals 98 degrees. C equals 43 degrees. B equals 10. This looks like another angle, side, which are usually pretty easy to solve. So I can first figure out angle B. Angle B will be 180 degrees minus angle A minus angle C. What if I can do this in my head? This should be 98 and 43 are 141. See, minus that 50. I think it's like 39 degrees. So that's B. And now I can go find side A and C. Sine of A over A equals sine of B over B. Sine of 98 degrees over A equals sine of 39 degrees over 10. So A equals 10 times the sine of 39 degrees over the sine of 98 degrees. So 39 sine divided by 98 sine times 10, 6.4. Oh, let's make sure I didn't make a mistake. I'm looking at my key. This is problem 4. Sine A over A, sine B over B, 98 over A, 10. So maybe wasn't quite correct on my calculator. So 39 sine divided by 98 sine equals times 10. $39 sine divided by 98 sine times 10. Oh, what am I doing wrong here? Problem 4. Oh, yeah, you guys probably saw it. Wow. Sorry, but this is what happens in real life. Yep. This is the kind of thing that happens. Divided by 39 sine times 10. 15.7. excuse me, then side C is left, we'll go sine A over A equals sine C over C. Sine of 98 degrees over A. Oh, we know A. 15.7 equals sine of 43 degrees over C. So let's be careful this time. So C should be sine of 43 degrees over sine of 98 degrees times 15.7. 43, the sine, divided by 98, the sine, times 10.8. And I believe that is correct. So sorry about that mix up earlier. Number 5. Take a quick drink. So number 5 is A equals 35 degrees. Side A equals 6. Side B equals 8. Looks like angle side matching. So I'm going to use law of sines to find angle B. Sine 35 degrees over 6 equals sine angle B over 8. Sine of B equals 8 over 6 times the sine, 35 degrees. So 0.7648. So B equals inverse sine of 0.7648. 49.9 degrees. But this is a kind of problem where I could have two triangles. So this is going to be my first triangle. Angle B is 49.9 degrees. Now I can get angle C by taking 180 degrees, subtract angle A, and subtract angle B. So this is 95.1 degrees. The only thing left is to find side C. So I'll just say sine of A over A, sine of C over C. So the sine of 35 degrees over 6. The sine of 95.1 degree over C. So C equals 6 times sine of 95.1 degree over sine of 35 degrees. So go to my calculator. $10.4 for side C. Now this is the first triangle. There's a possibility that there is a second triangle. What you do is the very first angle you uncovered before, which is B equals 49.9 degrees. If there is a second triangle, it's going to equal 180 degrees minus 49.9 degrees. $130.1 degrees. At this point, we don't really know if there's a second triangle or not. The next step will determine that. So we know angle A is 35. The new angle B is 130.1. The new angle C is 180 minus angle A, 35 degrees, minus 130.1 degrees. So if this is a positive number, then we do in fact have a second triangle. And it is 14.9 degrees. So there's a second triangle so far. Angle B is 130.1. Angle C is 14.9. Now I need to get side C. The sine of C over C, sine of A over A, sine of 14.9 degrees over C equals the sine of 35 degrees over A, which is 6. So C equals 6 times the sine of 35 degrees over the sine of 14.9 degrees. So 35 degrees, the sine divided by 14.9, the sine equals times 6, 13.38. And I wonder if I made another math there. So let's check. It's always, make sure my angles are correct. $14.9 over C and 35 over A. So C is going to be 6 times, well, I did it again. Wow. Guess it's been a long day, not focusing very well. Try this again. 14.9 times the sine divided by 35 times the sine, then times 6, 2.7, which is actually correct. So there is a second triangle. All right, looks like 6, 7, 8, 9 are going to be some mainly law of cosines. Let's take a break now. And we'll pick back up with question 6. And looks like we'll start applying some law of cosine stuff.